In this how-to video, we are going to look at half-lives, and we're going to see how to calculate some half-lives and also how to calculate how much will be left over after a certain number of half-lives. So looking at this first one, we have fluorine 21, and we know that it has a half-life of about 5 seconds. What fraction will be left after 1 minute? So the first thing that we need to do is figure out how many half-lives will take place in that 1 minute. We know that in 1 minute there are 60 seconds, and if each half-life is 5 seconds, then 60 divided by 5 gives us 12 half-lives. To figure out the fraction of what's left, we need to set up 1 over 2n, n being the number of half-lives. If we calculate 2 twelfths, we end up getting 1 over 4,096. So our fraction would be 4,096 of the original amount would be remaining. Our second example isn't talking about how many half-lives, but how much would be left after so many half-lives go through. So we're looking at chromium-51, which has a 28-day half-life. The sample originally contained 510 grams, and they want to know how much would remain after 56 days. So just like before, we need to figure out how many half-lives we have. So we're going to take the 56 days and divide by 28. So 56 divided by 28 is 2. We know that there are 2 half-lives that have happened in the first 56 days. So now we need to figure out what fraction of our original amount would be left. So we're going to do 1 over 2n, where n is going to be equaling the 2 half-lives. If we continue to work this out, it looks like only a quarter of the original amount would be left after 56 days. To figure out what this is, we're going to multiply 1/4, or 1 over 4, times the 510 grams we had originally. This comes out to 127.5 grams, and then if we go with sig figs, 130 grams will be left after 56 days. The next question is, how much would remain after 1 year? So now we need to take 1 year, or 365 days, and divide it by 28 to see how many half-lives occur. This equals 13, so there are 13 half-lives. Now we need to figure out the fraction, so we're going to do 1 over 2n, where n is 13. Now we are going to take this fraction and multiply it by the original 510 grams to see how many grams are left after 1 year. Calculating this, we get an answer of 0.062 grams. The last part of this question is asking how much was present 168 days ago. So we're kind of looking for that initial amount. So we're going to have to work backwards at the end of this. First of all, we still need to figure out how many half-lives it went through from 168 days ago to now. So we're going to take 168 days and divide by 28. So we found that there are 6 half-lives that have happened from 168 days ago to now. So our next part is we still need to figure out this fraction that was broken up over the last 6 half-lives. So we're going to do 1 over 2n, where n is the 6. So we come up with 1 over 64. Now, before we were saying our initial amount, 510, and multiplying it by our fraction 1/4 to get how much is left. Well, we know how much is left. 510 is what we have currently. We want to know what the initial amount was before, so our setup for this problem is a little bit different. So we're going to look at this as 1 over our initial amount times 1 over 64 equals our final amount, or the 510. That's what we have now. So we need to solve for that initial amount. So in this case, we're going to end up multiplying 64 times 510. We find that the original sample in sig figs was 33,000 grams.